Hi everyone, welcome to a new video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the ending of Freud, and I hope you like it. Let's start. Freud is a German language television series that can be streamed on Netflix after careful intrinsic consideration. To be clearer, the edgy show is not for the faint-hearted and easily qualifies as one of the most disturbing productions in recent times. The show portrays a young, fictionalized Sigmund Freud, attempting to avert a supernaturally murderous conspiracy. The densely plotted narrative comes to an epic conclusion in the final episode of the series. Throughout the first 7 episodes, the character of Freud is depicted to be gradually sliding into psychological disturbance and demonic possession. The Hungarian aristocrats Sophia and Victor surprise plans of using her powers to cause a killing frenzy at the royal ball is finally materialized in the season finale. The police, under the directive of George's father, comes looking for Kees at Freud's house. In a moment of genius pragmatism, Kees tells the police that he has information on a planned attack at the Schambran Palace. Sophia and Victor kickstart their plan by hypnotizing a couple of attendees. Then, all hell seems to break loose. There is a confused fighting as a swashbuckling frenzy ensues. The Emperor is escorted away from the hall and to safety. A possessed or hypnotized Rodolphe runs behind his father to kill him. Luckily, Kees, Freud, Fleur, and the police arrive at the right time to save the day. Fleur breaks the hypnotized attendants out of their trance, then Victor and Sophia are opened fire at. Rodolphe chases the Emperor to the H-maze outside the palace. Freud manages to catch up with the Emperor. He advises him to say "Told orders you to sleep." Rodolphe calms down and drops his sword when the Emperor shouts the phrase multiple times. Upon returning home, Freud tries to look for Fleur desperately. He does not notice that his partner, Martha, is there. The two eventually meet. Freud writes a book on his experiences with hypnosis and Fleur. Martha reads it and asks Freud who Fleur is. Freud tells Martha that he did not mention all the details of his relationship with Fleur in the book. Then Martha tells Freud that the parts that are not included in the book must be unimportant. 3 imperial guards summon Freud to the palace. The Emperor takes Freud to Rodolphe's room, where a guard is given the duty of continuously shouting "Taltus orders you to sleep." Freud tries to explain Rodolphe's conditions to the Emperor. He tells him that one theory is that Fleur has supernatural powers, and another theory revolves around the inner demons that haunt Rodolphe and others involved in the case. He tells him that Rodolphe's condition has to do with the animal that was caged within him and unleashed by Fleur hypnosis. Freud then proceeds to hypnotize Rodolphe. Rodolphe shares how he has always been made to feel like he was not enough. He admits that him forcing himself on multiple women had been an act of demonstrating his manliness and superiority. The Emperor takes Freud to another room. He tells Freud that Fleur will have a target on her back. Freud urges the Emperor to spare Fleur. Moreover, the Emperor informs Freud that information regarding the event will be suppressed. He threatens Freud to not publish his book and offers him his job and a year's rent in return. Kees goes to his superior's office and kills him. Freud's family visits him, and Martha announces that Freud and she will be getting married. Then Kees is at Freud's house and tells him that Vienna needs his services. Because of this, Freud burns his book, and then Kees goes to the canals after emitting an animalistic roar. Freud resigns from the psychiatric hospital, then Fleur meets him secretly in a carriage. She tells him that she wants her story to be suppressed since Aldous does not haunt her anymore and has become a fire inside her that she can't control. She urges Freud to not write books about her, but write books because of her instead. She makes him say, "Therapy over, next one please." When he returns home, Freud remembers the people he encountered while being involved in the conspiracy and shares how people's deepest desires often come to the fore one way or another. Martha tells Freud that he has a patient waiting for him, and this is how the series ends. Okay, now I am going to explain the ending. The ending of Freud turns out to be surprisingly conclusive. It is a very close ending, which does not leave much to the viewer's imagination. It feels extremely satisfying, having tied up the plot neatly. Moreover, the conclusion feels positive, in stark contrast to how dark the rest of the series is. But the actual question is, what does the end signify, right? Well, from my point of view, the ending depicts how Freud wants to change the world and how it views psychological problems. Not being able to publish the book might actually be a blessing for Freud. Vienna needs him, as Kiss puts it. Freud will be able to make the most amount of change by providing his services to those in need, as opposed to being banished or killed and not be able to do anything. Moreover, Freud is constantly depicted to have an issue with what his family think of him. Perhaps by the act of settling down, Freud is taking care of this deep-stated desire of stability. Perhaps his decision to resign and start his own practice is a sign of Freud standing for himself. And on the other hand, Kiss is depicted going to the canals. This connotes how he has embraced his animalistic side, and the conclusion to Kiss' story does not serve to be ethically justified. One can argue whether Kiss is doing the right thing or not. However, one thing that Kiss is certainly doing is listening to his deepest desires, which is something he has not done too openly. And that was all for today's video, and thank you for watching.